Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Charles, and you're watching Save Our Children TV. And I'm back at it for a brand new video. Again, we have another 16 stories. Some of these stories are updates, some are current, but our first story takes us to Townsend, Maryland. So Townsend, Maryland takes it here. This is a daycare story. Now this is an updated story. Um, Jury reaches verdict in James Weems sex abuse trial. The Baltimore County jury in the sex abuse trial of James Weems Jr. reached a guilty verdict Friday on all 6 counts. Jurors had 6 charges to consider, all involving sexual abuse of a minor, second-degree rape, and displaying obscene matter to a minor, whom was arrested on the charges in July of 2022. A preliminary sentencing date has been set for January 8th, during which time Williams faces 2 life sentences. The Marine veteran and retired Baltimore City police officer drove a van for his wife's daycare center in the Wiggins Mills Little Kids Castle Daycare Center. The abuse allegedly took place on the center's playground inside the transport van, investigators said. During closing arguments on Friday, prosecutors claimed Williams took small, slow, progressive steps to get a 10-year-old girl in his web by giving her favorable treatments, snacks, and showing her pornography on his cell phone. The Baltimore County Assistant State's attorneys told juror the reality is the person who will hurt your child is somebody they know. It is somebody they like or admire. The person who drives your children from daycare to school. During the trial, Williams admitted to a pee addiction, watching in the daycare's van to pick up children from school. He said he would lean his body and turn the phone so no one could see it. The prosecutors told jury, was it risky? Yes, it was risky, but there was opportunity. There was one who would think that one would be looking at pee on a van with school children on it. Weems' defense attorney argued that while Weems was addicted to pee, he did not intentionally show any pee material to the girl who was now 12 or sexually abused her. The defense also said there was a possibility the girl inadvertently accessed pee on his device. The defense said, how does an innocent man come to court and try to prove a negative, to prove a negative? That's something that happened. He didn't intentionally give access to the webpage with P on it. He not he denied all of his sexual allegations, but one James be worthy of belief. In the final argument,
Charo! The game is over?
what game?
Whatever game you watch.
The Bills game?
When did that come on?
Saturday. I'm at Sunday, this past Sunday.
Then what was you watching today?
Nothing?
You won't. I don't know. They won't watch nothing today. They'll probably movie or whatever the hell child was watching. Oh, yesterday, I think it was yesterday or Sunday, whatever it was the Bills and I think the Chiefs.
The Colts.
The Colts. Well, no, that was me watching the Bills.
Williams' ex-wife, Shantari Williams, the now 12-year-old alleged victim, relatives, and an FBI special agent all testified in the trial over the past week. Shantari Williams confronted her husband about the allegations and shot him in July of 2022 in a Washington, D.C. hotel. She's currently serving a 4-year prison sentence for the shooting. Now, there will be no news video because how graphic this story is. But let me just say this. First and foremost, I don't care if it's your wife, husband, or somebody you're dating, but there should always be a background check in daycares because you just never know who is working for you. You never know who's really hiding behind closed doors. So this person should never been in the same room as children. And a lot of times, especially significant other, um, they will go beyond to protect these children. Do I think his wife should have got 4 years in prison? Absolutely not, because she was defending innocent children who she was working with. She was working for children. She was in charge to protect children. And I hope when he is sentenced next year on January 8th that he is sentenced to life times two because he needs to be off the streets indefinitely to be a public servant such as a retired police officer. And that just scares me that there's people like that who walks around and thinking that there's nothing wrong with the behavior. So it's a lot. Keep the victim in your thoughts and prayers. Keep all them children in your thoughts and prayers. And pray that his wife get out of prison. And in my opinion, make better decision. I think that I could commend her for standing up to those children that are being victimized. But I think we gotta know who we have working for us because family members, you just never know. You just never know who could be working for us. It could be the devil. You just never know. And those children will be scarred for the rest of their lives. They're gonna need therapy, counseling, whole 9 yards to get over this. So let's move on to story number two at 16. Give me a second. Let me look this story up. I'm on Fox 26 Houston. I'm gonna shout out Isaiah Factor from Fox 26 Houston. We're gonna talk about this pathetic mother right here. Do you see on your screen? We're gonna talk about her and what she did. Baby girl is found abandoned on a Galveston street, dies, and mother is charged. So Galveston, Texas again takes it in. The mother of a toddler is now charged after a 17-month-old girl was found with severe injuries in Galveston roadway and died at the hospital Wednesday, officials said. 30-year-old Chanel Yonko of Houston is charged with capital murder in the death of her daughter, Hannah Yonko. It's all started when police received reports of an abandoned child around 10 a.m. on 59th Street near Seawall Boulevard. Brandon Urbina says he was the one who made the first call when he discovered the horrific scene outside the Beachfront Palms Hotel. Come down on the street and I see a little kid's blanket. As I drove a little further, I could see clearly. I could see clearly here, he said. He says little Hannah was laying there with obvious injuries covered in blood. Precious, beautiful little girl lying there lifeless, he said. Officers, EMS, and fire personnel located the infant, and police said she was in need of immediate medical care. She was transported to the trauma center at UTMB Galveston, where she later died. In a news release Wednesday night, police say Hannah died from traumatic injuries police allege Chanel inflicted on Hannah. The child perished from bodily harm from trauma, Chief Doug Bailey. Police haven't confirmed the cause of death, but some hotel goers have ideas of what happened. The baby was thrown on the ground because there was a blood spot where the baby's head was. In the sand, it was a body mark. Sat down a coach, a hotel guest. This is a horrible crime. All children deserve to feel safe when around loved ones, especially with their own mother, said Chief Doug Bailey. The Galveston Police Department is committed to bring justice for Hannah, ensuring the safety of all children in our community. Police encourage anyone in the vicinity of the crime that may have video surveillance cameras to review any footage for information that may be beneficial to the investigation. If they have anything, they should call police detectives at 409 765 3777. If anyone feels they have other information pertaining to this incident, they may be helpful to law enforcement. They are encouraged to contact Galveston Crime Stoppers at 409 763 8477 or visit their website at www.galveston.crimestoppers.com. All tips are anonymous. Chanel Yonko is being held in the Galveston County Jail with no bond. She should never see the light of day again. And though she charged with capital murder, I doubt that they would pursue the death penalty. More likely, if she's found guilty of capital, the first thing they'll go with is life without parole. That'll be the first thing they will go with before they think about the death penalty. Because a lot of times, women don't get the death penalty. A lot of times, it is the men, especially our black men, who majority of the time get the death penalty before a woman, a white woman, a black woman, a notorious woman sometimes. It depends on the nature of the case. But if you commit the crime, you should do the time. Even if they even if they give her a deal on the capital offense and say they give you life, I think that there should be a petition where the community should rally together and say, give it a death penalty. Because the 17-month-old ain't have a fighting chance. Because her mother robbed her. Her mother killed her and left her to die in the road. So, with that being said, throw the book, Houston, or yeah, Houston, throw the book at this mother. That's minus 33 out of 16. This is, I believe, is an updated story. Mom of Elijah View and partner is charged in connection with the 3-year-old death a month after his remains were found. This story is out of Wisconsin, so Wisconsin is going to take it. The mother of 3-year-old Wisconsin boy Elijah Veer, whose remains were found last month, has been charged in connection with his death, according to officials. Mentaric County District Attorney Jacqueline LeBerry said in a news conference shared by WBAY News that after a thorough investigation by law enforcement, they have charged Elijah's mother, Katrina Barr, with chronic neglect of a child, where the consequence is death, and child neglect and obstructing an officer. LeBerry added that Brewer's partner, Jesse Van, has been charged with physical abuse of a child involving repeated acts that cause death, hiding a corpse, and obstructing an officer. Elijah was a young boy whose life was tragically cut short. LeBray said on the press conference, "This is an incredible, tragic situation that has shaken our community. My thoughts and deepest condolences go out to Elijah's family who are in unimaginable pain. Here is the monsters that took 3-year-old Elijah's view life, and they should receive life without parole." Now, Bayer and Vaughn were arrested on child neglect charges after the child went missing on February 20th. Tuva Police Department said in a press briefing at the time. Elijah was last seen around 8 a.m. local time on that day at an address in Two Rivers, West in Two Rivers. West Van previously told authorities that he fell asleep and woke up to find Elijah missing before calling 911. In February, prosecutors alleged that Bayer sent Elijah to Vaughn for disciplinary concerns. Fox 11, NBC 26, and CBS 58 reported, citing prosecutor statements in court. She intentionally sent that child for disciplinary reasons for more than a week to the residence. Mentaric District Attorney Jacqueline LeBerry said in court, prior NBC 26 and CBS 58 at the time. She was aware of the tactics used and the lack of care provided. This was an intentional thing by her. It was reported that in April, that Elijah's mother had left her son with Vang for extended periods of time to teach him by example how to be a man, and she had sent the boy to stay with her boyfriend as punishment right before his disappearance per a criminal complaint obtained by people. Want to keep up? Okay. Elijah's remains were eventually located on September the 7th, just over 3 miles northwest from where he was originally reported missing on private property by a person getting his land ready for the hunting season. Police said they added that it was in a thick, wooded area. This is not the outcome that we hoped for. Two Rivers Police Department Chief Benjamin Maynard said the family is devastated. We are devastated. Our community is devastated. Boyer and Van previously pleaded not guilty in court for child neglect charges. So, you mean to tell me, because supposedly the child was unruly, wasn't acting right, out of control, or wasn't behaving, for punishment, you sent him with your boyfriend. And instead of maybe talking to the child about his actions, let's take it a step further and beat the child until he's dead, and then take his body and hide it. Wait days later to call the police to make up the story that you don't know what your son went. You knew the whole time what happened to him. Which, in my opinion, it should be considered conspiracy because you knew where your child was, and we gotta hold parents accountable, especially young women. single mothers because they often make bad decisions. Okay, they allow men to run them and run right to the ground. And then when something bad happens, that single mother then wants to get back up and then act like it's just a man's fault that he ran you into the ground to do this to the child. No, you are a party to the crime, and this child didn't have a fighting chance. But this mother cared more about her boyfriend than her own child. And shout out to AFC with the hashtag Children for Benefits because she only had this child for the benefits that she can get from him. She ought to be in prison for the rest of her life. He ought to be in prison for the rest of his life. This was gruesome, preventable, and justice need to be served. So we're gonna study 4 now out of 16. 4 out of 16. Back in Texas. Denver teen sentenced to 7 years for killing a 16-year-old girl. He recently pleaded guilty, second-degree murder, and first-degree assault, and he was just sentenced. Now let's get on to Houston. I believe this is the story. No, that's Denver. APD. APD arrest charges. So Austin, Texas, gonna take it. A 16-year-old boy been arrested for killing a 16-year-old girl. So this is an update. An update Wednesday. The Austin Police Department said it arrested the 16-year-old boy in connection with the Monday death of a 16-year-old girl. The boy has been charged with murder. APD staff officers initially found the victim, later identified as Zabaya Sheffield, with apparent gunshot wounds. She died at the scene, according to APD. An investigation by homicide detectives and crime scene specialists determined that the boy accused the victim of simply looking at him. Police said a verbal disturbance escalated into the suspect shooting and killing Sheffield and then running away. According to police, the suspect later returned to the area and was arrested by officers. So let's see why he did this. Oh, I know why. because he felt like she was looking at him the wrong way. So what did he do? Shoot and kill her. I don't understand because somebody looking at you that you have the entitlement to take your life. When you take a life, that means that you just now gave up your life and you're willing to sit in prison for the rest of your life. I don't understand why people think it's cool to go around and just shoot people because you can, or because you think you can, because you have a phone arm and that gives you the green light to just shoot people. And you gotta remember, 16. And shout out to the show Beyond Skate Strength. When the first crime, it says children commit their first crimes at the age of 18. Well, that's a lie because we've now seen children commit crimes before the ages 14 to 18. And it's scary because there's children killing children. So because she stared at you the wrong way, it gave you the okay to gun her down in cold blood. You know, it's people like that that doesn't need to be on the streets. Because if they want to gun somebody that's looking at them down, then that's what they would do to you. Gun you down for no reason. Just cause. I said that a buck at him, he's charged with murder. Charge him as an adult since he's going to commit an adult crime. Throw the buck at him if he's convicted at 16. And I say throw him in prison for the next 30 to 40 years. Just I'm saying prison. Just he's going to be a gangster. I'm going to see what the prison life will do. Put him in general pop once he gets to prison. People will end their lives for no other good reason. No other good reason. Let's move to story 5 out of 16. 5 out of 16. Three-year-old girl shot in the leg. Detroit police investigating. Teen arrested after shooting 14 in the head. Injured on mother in Detroit police. Man, it's like going on. All right. So speaking of Detroit, Detroit takes an air. An 8-year-old boy is beaten to death. Police suspect mother's boyfriend. That title's got confusing. So we're on Detroit Fox 2. An 8-year-old boy was beaten to death on Detroit's east side Friday morning. Police believe that the boy's mother's boyfriend is the one who did it, but no charges have been filed as of Saturday evening. Adrian Thames Sr. was killed when his son was just a year old. Then 7 years later, his namesake was also killed, according to family, who have to identify his body at the morgue. It was so empty and numb. His grandmother said, remembering the feeling walking into the Wayne County morgue, it wasn't the first time that Adriana Thames had to make that walk. He walked inside and asked if she had him. That's when it got real. He was there. She said her grandson, Adrian Thames Jr., had visible signs of head trauma and injuries to his face. He was the sweetest kid, very smart, Adriana said. Adriana said she remembered close with Adrian and his mother until the last 6 months when the living boyfriend started denying visits and dictating when she could see a grandson. Police are currently working to seek a warrant against the boyfriend. Fox 2 is not releasing the boyfriend's name until a charging decision has been made. Okay, well, the thing is this. First of all, why would you need to even have a charging decision? We all know that he killed the child. That's number one. Mom's boyfriend. And number two, she needs to follow behind him and needs to be in jail too. Because she chose to put a violent individual in the hands of her child. So that means she needs to take some charges too. All right. At this point, the mother knew what type of person she was dealing with, and that person was a violent individual. And yes, I think they should have put the boyfriend's name out there in his picture because at the end of the day, you're searching for him for the murder of Adrian Thames Jr. And the crazy part is that this child father was killed by a gun by someone in the streets of Detroit. 7 years later, his son was murdered by the mother's boyfriend. Can't make this stuff up in 2024. But 2025, if we think that the crime rate is going to go down, it's not. It's just going to go higher and higher. But we got to do better. We got to do better at protecting our children. We got to stop putting children in the hands of evilness, and monsters. But this mother cared more about her man, her boyfriend, than she cared more about her child, and it's just a shame. Now we're on story 6 out of 16, and this story is also so crazy. But this story is out of Chicago, and it's about the death of a police officer. And um, the suspect have been arrested, and I want you to hear the suspect's age and what he was recently in jail for. So I want you to listen up to this story here. Let me look it up. Okay. More details revealed after a CPD, Chicago Police Department officer, was killed in the line of duty during a traffic stop. More details are coming to light after an officer was shot and killed Monday night while conducting a traffic stop in the city's East Chattanooga neighborhood. The incident took place around 8 p.m. Monday in the 18,000 block of South Ingleside after officers pulled over a vehicle with three occupants inside. Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling said during a press conference early Tuesday morning. Snelling did not immediately say why officers pulled the car over. As officers approached the vehicle, one of the car's occupants opened fire, Snelling said. It sounded like rapid fire, Snelling said during the press conference. The officer was struck multiple times. One of the car's three occupants was also struck by gunfire multiple times. Snelling said the person was later pronounced deceased. Snelling added that at least one of the officers fired back at the vehicle. After a pursuit ensued, the suspected gunman was taken into police custody. Snelling said a third occupant of the vehicle was also taken into custody. Snelling continued. During the press conference, Snelling was asked to confirm whether or not one of the vehicle's occupants had cut off an ankle monitor. During the press conference, Snelling was asked to confirm whether one of the vehicle's occupants. Okay, let's read that. I can tell you yes, Snelling said. It's still under investigation. We don't have other details around that, but yes, that we have information that occurred. According to Snelling, the officer struck by gunfire was driven to a nearby hospital by other officers. He was later pronounced dead. Our officers go out and face this type of danger every single day, Snelling said. And this work is unpredictable. We never know what is in store for our officers when they're out there trying to keep the public safe. And just remember, in a city where our officers are not safe, it's going to be hard for everyone else to be safe. According to Snelling, the officer killed was 26 years old. My age. Might be 26. And just shy of 3 years on the job. He worked in the 6th District, NBC's 5's Lisa Shavera said, which includes the Gresham neighborhood and other surrounding communities. A proud individual, Snelling said, very hardworking. Tuesday morning, the slain officer was identified by the Cook County Medical Examiner as Enrique Martinez, who was 26. Chicago AOD Raymond Lopez told NBC Chicago Officer Martinez was engaged to be married. Now should have